In FIFA 21, João Felix was 83 overall with an insane 93 potential. Fast forward just 4 years later and he is now 81 overall with just 85 potential. Today we save João Felix's career. And of course here he is, we are making him a striker. I think that is probably his best position. Of course coming in at an 81 overall at 24 years of age. Of course on loan at AC Milan from Chelsea. So we need to impress this season to hopefully get a good move next season. Of course, training is going to be absolutely crucial for João Felix. Kicking off the first game of the season, and we did come up against Torino, and it was not the best start for João Felix. We did have a little bit of a chance managing to get one-on-one with the defender, and unfortunately we passed inside and it just nothing came of it. Torino later on got a penalty where Juvan Zapata did chuck it right into the bottom corner. No chance for the keeper, and he did make it 1-0 for Torino, and we did of course end up losing our first game at 1-0. João Felix not really getting involved as he walks away with just a bang average 6.8 rating. Second game of the season, and we did come up against Parma, and we were already 3 goals up in this game, and we were coming on as a striker, and it was a game and a half to remember for João Felix, managing to get past 2 defenders there and managing to slot it into the back of the net to score a goal for AC Milan, making it 4-0. Although he would not stop there, managing to get a little bit of luck later on in the game, but dribbling past defenders yet again before yet again slotting it into the back of the net, getting a brace and making it 5-0. And later on in the game he had yet again another golden opportunity, whipped the ball inside and he tucked it in at a little bit of an awkward angle to make it 5-0, and of course getting a hat-trick. So of course the game did end up at 6-0 and João Felix walking away with a match ball and an unbelievable 10 out of 10 match rating. And of course that game did give us a chance in the starting 11 up against Lazio. We had a chance to prove ourselves, and I think we done exactly that, managing to dribble past defenders in what should have been a penalty, although thankfully Musa was there to tuck it away to make it 1-0 for AC Milan, and that is of course how we ended up winning that game. 4 games into the season now and AC Milan are sat comfortably in 4th place, and it's been a decent little start of growth for João Felix as he is already up to an 82 overall, and it has been a great start to the campaign as he is walking away with 3 goals and 2 assists in just 7 games. Halfway through the season now and AC Milan have took the lead as they are sat in 1st place, 1 point ahead of 2nd place Juventus. We are of course into the semi-finals of the Super Cup up against Juventus. The Champions League is also going pretty good as we are sat in 4th place, and it has been an unbelievable first half of the season for growth for João Felix. Now up to an 85 overall at 25 years of age. He is starting to already look pretty good, and just overall it has been an unbelievable season so far for João Felix. 18 goals and 4 assists in 27 games is just next level. Of course, moving on into the semi-finals of the Super Cup up against Juventus, and we do manage to beat them 2-1. That of course means we are into the final where we have the derby up against Inter Milan. It was not a good start for us as they did whip a ball in straight to Lautaro Martinez, where he did have an unbelievable header to make it 1-0. Although later on we did get lucky from a corner, managing to dribble through straight to João Felix, and João Felix slotting it in to equalise at 1-1. And later on we found ourselves in a perfect opportunity. João Felix slotted through and it couldn't get much easier for him as he did make it 2-1 for AC Milan. Of course managing to win the game and pick up our first trophy for João Felix. Moving on into the round of 16 of the Coppa Italia, and we did manage to beat them 1-0. Into the quarter-finals up against Lazio, and again we managed to get another win, beating them 2-1. Into the semi-finals as we come up against Fiorentina. Unfortunately though we do get obliterated 3-1, and in the second leg we tried our best, although it was not enough as we went out 4-3 on aggregate. Moving into the Champions League now though, and we face Liverpool in the round of 16, and we managed to get a good little result in the first leg, beating them 2-1, and in the second leg we do manage to go through as we beat them 3-2 on aggregate. Into the quarter-final of the Champions League as we come up against Celtic, and we do manage to beat them of course 2-1, and we do manage to go through as we beat them again 2-1 in the second leg. Into the semi-finals, and I'm not gonna lie, we could have the easiest ticket to the final ever, just facing Celtic and now come up against Sporting, and in the first leg we do manage to beat them 2-1, and it seems every result is 2-1 at the minute. 4-2 on aggregate though. That of course means we are into the Champions League final already. It's Milan versus Real Madrid. Nice. AC Milan on the attack for Fana. Rafael Leao back to Fofana. João Felix made a nice run there. He is through on goal. João Felix, oh, he's got very lucky, but it does not matter. Just 4 minutes in, and João Felix makes it 1-0. Oh no, Real Madrid could be on the attack. Bellingham through to Garcia. He's got loads of space inside Vinicius Jr. Just dribbling around at the minute. Back to Bellingham. Come on, please, Rodrigo. Through to Mbappe. Oh, what a save. Nice, Rafael Leao. He's got João Felix inside if he needs him. It might go the whole way, though. Still João Felix. That's unlucky. Real Madrid on the attack. Rodrigo through to Mbappe. I don't like this. Bellingham. Back to Rodrigo. They're getting way too much space here. Nice tackle. Mbappe's won it back, though. Vinicius Jr. just dancing around. He's missed. There's no way. Real Madrid on the attack again. They're just invited. We're just inviting loads of pressure at the minute. Rodrigo not really doing much with it. Whips it inside. Vinicius Jr. That's no way. Mbappe's picked that up. Oh my word. The 87th minute. We were so close to capturing the Champions League in just our first season, but Mbappe's crushed our dreams. Nice. João Felix trying to get past Rudiger. He has done it indeed. It's just last minute. Surely that's a penalty, ref. Apparently it's not. That's unbelievable. Madrid could have one last attack here. Valverde just running through. You're going to drag him down. There's no way that's a penalty. That is not a penalty, ref. It's outside the box. There's no way. Mbappe stepping up, and Mbappe slots at home. Of course he does in the 122nd minute. It's game over. And yeah, there we go. Game over. That is so unlucky. We started so well and just bottled it. End of the season, and not only did we bottle the Champions League, we also bottled the league, finishing second place. Also getting knocked out in the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia, of course, to Fiorentina. Although, thankfully, we did walk away with a cup, and it was the Super Cup beating Inter Milan 2-1. What a season it has been for João Felix, though, now up to an 87 overall, and walking away with 42 goals and 13 assists in 61 games is just completely ridiculous. It's just been an unbelievable season for João Felix, and that has caught the attention of Bayern Munich, and I like our chances there, so we're going to move. So season 2 starts off, of course, with João Felix getting a big move to Bayern Munich. Starting off the season, and we do have the Super Cup straight away up against Bayer Leverkusen, and it was not a good start as they did manage to get through, completely doing in Neuer and our centre-back before tucking it in, of course, to make it 1-0 for Bayer Leverkusen. Although, thankfully, João Felix was there to save the day. Of course, managed to dribble past Jonathan Tah before slotting it into the back of the net to equalise at 1-1. Also, later on, João Felix doing the defender yet again before making it look way too easy. Running past again to make it 2-1. And João Felix would top off his debut with a hat-trick as he received a nice ball over the top, where he smashed it into the back of the net, of course, to make it 3-1. Of course, winning the game at 3-1 thanks to a hat-trick from João Felix and picking up his second trophy of the video. 4 games into the season, and Bayern Munich are currently sat in 3rd place, and it has been an unbelievable start for João Felix. 10 goals and 1 assist in just 9 games is just completely world class. Into the round of 16 of the DFB Pokal, and we do manage to beat them 2-0. Halfway through the season now, and Bayern Munich are, of course, leading the league by 3 points. We are, of course, into the DFB Pokal quarter-finals, and the Champions League is going okay as we are sat in 9th place. João Felix, though, now up to an 89 overall, slowly starting to become one of the best players in the world. Also grabbing 26 goals and 1 assist in just 28 games. Again, it has just been completely ridiculous from João Felix. Of course, into the quarter-final of the DFB Pokal up against Wolfsburg, and we do manage to beat them 2-0. That, of course, means we are into the semi-finals, and we do manage to beat Frankfurt 3-2. Into the round of 16 of the Champions League, and we, of course, come up against our former team in AC Milan, and we do manage to get a good result in the first leg, beating them 2-1. In the second leg, we do obliterate them. We beat them 5-2 on aggregate. Into the quarter-final of the Champions League, and we come up against Frankfurt, and in the first leg, we do just beat them 1-0, and in the second leg, we do manage to get through as we beat them 3-0 on aggregate. Into the semi-final finals, and we have a big game up against Arsenal, and we do draw the first leg 1-1, and the second game is a very close one, although we do just about go through on penalties, managing to beat them 4-2. Into the final of the DFB Pokal though, up against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and there was just one goal in it. Of course it comes from João Felix in an unbelievable dribble, and of course whack it into the back of the net to make it 1-0. Winning the game at 1-0 and picking up yet another trophy for João Felix. Into the Champions League final now though, and we have got lucky, I can't lie, as we face AS Monaco. Nice, João Felix could be through straight away here. It's into Musiala, Musiala back to João Felix. João Felix through on goal, and João Felix in just the 8th minute makes it 1-0. Jadon Sancho up this wing, whips it to João Felix. Almost comes across in front of the goalkeeper. Oh no, he goes for goal. That's a strike and a half. Neuer thankfully on it though. Musiala down this wing. He seems to have Jadon Sancho inside if it needs to use him. Musiala, that is not the best ball at all, but Jadon Sancho touches it down, and Jadon Sancho makes it 2-0 in the 23rd minute for Bayern Munich. Nice, João Cancelo up this wing into João Felix. His tries a scorpion kick, just misses though. Nice, good tackle. Monaco could be on the attack here in the closing minutes. If they get a goal here, game could be on. It's good defending though. And there we go, and the game does finish, and Bayern Munich and João Felix managed to pick up the Champions League. Of course, yet another trophy for João Felix, and it's a huge one at that in the Champions League. Not only that, we have also went on to win the league with Bayern Munich by 5 points, of course claiming yet another trophy. Also managing to pick up the Super Cup, beating Bayer Leverkusen 3-1. Also managing to pick up the DFB Pokal, beating Mönchengladbach 1-0. And we of course managed to make it the quadruple this season as we beat Monaco 2-0 in the Champions League final. And João Felix is now arguably one of the best players in the world, now up to a 91 overall at just 26 years of age. And it has been a ridiculous season yet again for João Felix. 41 goals and 11 assists in 58 games. Of course, also picking up the quadruple with Bayern Munich. What an unbelievable season for him. It is player of the season, and I don't think there's any doubt as to who it's going to be. Of course, it is going to be João Felix. I mean, yeah, you cannot discredit him at all. What a season. That, of course, means we are being called up to the Portugal national team for the World Cup. The first game of the group stage, and we do come up against Iceland, and we do manage to beat them 2-1. Second game of the group stage, and we come up against New Zealand, and it is just a 2-2 draw. Last game of the group stage, and we do come up against Czech Republic, and we do manage to completely obliterate them 4-0. Into the round of 16, and we do come up against Ghana, and we do completely obliterate them again as we beat them 4-1. Into the quarterfinals, and we come up against USA, and we do manage to just about scrape through, beating them 2-1. That of course means we are into the semi-finals as we come up against Romania, and we have a ticket to the final as we manage to obliterate them 3-0. And in the final we have a very tough game as we come up against Argentina. Ortega could be on the attack here into Garnacho. Garnacho gets space, that's a save. It's almost a horrible one though. Nice, Bernardo Silva, he's got João Felix inside if he can use him. João Felix goes for goal, and of course he slots at home in the 30th minute, making it 1-0 for Portugal, again making it look way too easy. João Cancelo up this wing, got Felix inside. João Felix thinks it back to Rafael Leao. He's got Nuno Mendes running up the side of it. Nuno Mendes goes for goal, and it's off the post and in. What a goal that was to make it 2-0. Alvarez up this wing. He has got Lautaro Martinez inside if he wants to use him. Back to Alvarez. Back to Martinez. Goes for goal, but thankfully it's way over. Oh no, that is a great ball. Correa through into Martinez. Martinez goes for goal, and in the 89th minute, the game is back on. Thankfully though, nothing came of it, and the game is over. Managing to beat Argentina 2-1 in the World Cup final as Portugal managed to win the World Cup. And of course, potentially the biggest trophy so far, lifting the World Cup with Portugal. Something even Cristiano Ronaldo did not manage to do. Of course, the Ballon d'Or. Is it going to be João Felix's time? Of course, winning the quadruple with Bayern Munich and winning the World Cup with Portugal. Of course, it is going to be João Felix. After an unbelievable season, there is nobody else it could have really been. And I've got to say, João Felix's career is unbelievably saved.